Vodka sucks. By law, it is flavorless, colorless, and odorless, and it's supposed to be a neutral spirit. In other words, it's boring. But you're not boring, are you? No, you're fun. After all, you're watching this video. All spirits are distilled from something, and that something usually has a flavor that is supposed to be there. And in vodka's case, they really don't want it to taste like anything, and that's why they distill it up to 17 times, depending on the brand. But there are so many absolutely delicious spirits that you can be drinking out there that isn't boring old vodka. And in this video, I'm gonna be telling you 3 spirits that I think you should be drinking instead of boring old vodka. First up is gin. Whoa, hey, before you click out of this video, hey, where are you going? We were just getting to know each other. Just give me a second. Let me try to make my case here. But I can already hear it though. Gin is gross. Gin tastes like pine trees. Or whatever it is that you might be thinking about gin. But not all gin is very piney. There's a lot of different gins that actually have a lot of botanical and citrus-forward flavors. And gin, like vodka, is a clear, relatively neutral spirit, so it can be used in a lot of the same applications that vodka can, but it'll give you this amazing extra layer of flavor, which vodka just doesn't have. And the flavor of gin, when paired with other flavors, really is where gin shines. I'm not expecting you or sitting here telling you to drink gin on its own. I think it's kind of weird when people do, but I mean, hey, to each their own. And there are so many incredible, simple gin cocktails that you can make that I would show you just how much better gin is than vodka. I'm just telling you that gin is super varied out there. In this case, for example, we have the Bar Hill gin, which is made from honey. So it has this nice inherent honey flavor and like a little bit of a perceived sweetness to it. You have this gin that I have here, it's called Príncipe de los Apóstoles, which is a dry gin, but it has these great citrusy and herbal flavors to it that doesn't really remind you of like a London dry style gin at all. And then you have St. George's Terroir, which is one of my absolutely favorite gins ever. And this is super botanical. It's got these great flavors. How did I do? Did I make a good case for gin? Well, all right, if not, then let's try something a little bit more exotic. The next spirit I think you should be drinking instead of boring old vodka is Pisco. Pisco is the national spirit of Peru and Chile, depending on who you ask. And it is a spirit that is distilled from very specific grapes that need to be grown in a very specific region of Peru. What makes it a good alternative to vodka? Well, one of the biggest draws to vodka is its light profile, the fact that you can kind of blend into anything that you mix it with. I think that Pisco actually does that even better than gin does because there isn't a strong flavor to it. It's a very subtle, sometimes floral, and really delicate flavor. If you like to make vodka lemonades or anything along those lines, you could just swap in the Pisco and you probably wouldn't even notice. In fact, you might actually even get an extra better flavor to it. And Peruvian Pisco can actually only be distilled once, so you still get a lot of that flavor. It's very crisp, it's very clear, it's this really delightful, almost grape flavor. Clearly it's made from grapes, Louis, you dummy. It has just this amazing floral flavor to it that I think you would really blow your mind when used in place of vodka. Okay, still not convinced? Well, all right, let's move to the last spirit that I think you should be drinking instead of boring old vodka. And the last spirit is, of course, additive-free tequila. If you've been on my channel for any length of time, you know how much I love tequila. And I think that tequila, when properly made, is one of the greatest spirits on the planet. For you to make tequila, you need to grow the agave plant for anywhere between 6 to 12 years before you can harvest it to turn it into the spirit. And by that alone, you already know just how much more craft and detail goes into creating tequila. It also lends itself to a very particular and robust flavor because of how long it took to mature, and I just think it's an amazing spirit. But what does that have to do with substituting it for vodka? Well, I have one very clear case, because if you're the kind of person who's like, I only drink vodka sodas because they don't have that many calories and they don't give me a hangover. Well, tequila is a low-calorie spirit, and when properly made, it shouldn't really give you a hangover because it's a clean spirit. Now, I'm not saying that if you drink 20 of them, they're not going to give you a hangover. I'm sure you're going to wake up feeling that. But if you have a couple of tequila sodas, I guarantee you're just going to be feeling incredible the next day. And come on, who are we kidding ourselves? We all know that tequila sodas are the superior spirit in soda. With this video, I really just wanted to give you a couple of different options so that you can ditch your old grandfather's vodka. This isn't 1912. There are really great spirits being made, and there's just so much variety. Vodka is just so bland, and there's just so much more that you can do with great spirits, especially when they're well made and crafted. But if I didn't do enough of a good job to convince you, you can check out this other video right over here next.